dialing in your genetics exactly how you want them. Breed, grow, raise, and market those that make you the most money consistently. We're going to be talking the NuEra Genetics from ABS. Crew, let's ranch it up. Good day, everyone, and thanks for riding with us on this all-new episode of the Ranch It Up Radio Show. I'm Jeff Tigger Earhart. A big thank you goes out to our partners, ranchchannel.com. Check out the new listings and sale reports on ranchchannel.com. Jorgensen Land and Cattle. Clear Springs Cattle Company bringing us the mature cow and red heifer dispersal sale. Transova Genetics. Axiota Animal Health bringing us Multi-Min and Lactapro. Stockman's Livestock Exchange. The American Gelbvieh Association. Imogene Ingredients bringing us Pharmatan. Westway Feed Products. Medora Boot and Western Wear. Allied Genetic Resources and Allied Feeding Partners. LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com. The Tri-State Livestock News, RFD TV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station.
Cattle Battle.
In the beef business, we are in two places, marketing calves that were born this past spring or calving our fall cow herd. Regardless, we're analyzing the breeding decisions of the year before and finding out what we need to do different, especially when bull sale season is fixing to get rolling in full force here shortly. Are you trying to produce females to go back into the herd, maybe sell some of those females as breds, maybe just trying to produce pounds per acre on a more terminal basis? Does not matter what the goal is. Today, we're able to fine-tune our genetic line to fit our program, and I mean really fine-tune this. A lot of this genetic intensity, or maybe I should say genetic specialization, has occurred from the dairy space. Yeah, the dairy industry. Dairy producers looking to add value to those calves that did not go back into dairy production, hence filling the beef space. And when I say beef, I mean beef as a protein. We have talked about the concept of beef on dairy before, and it is nothing new, but using specific sexed semen and identifying growth, feed-efficient cattle that excel in marbling and yield, etc., is where the dairy business is today. Those concepts are moving into the beef space. When I say beef now, I'm referring to beef versus dairy cattle. Since 2014, NuEra Genetics from ABS has focused specifically on this concept of genetic improvement. Jared Wareham is the Global Business Development Manager for ABS NuEra Genetics and is jumping in with us today to really dial in on this genetic intensity and share how now anyone can start to dial in or fine-tune their genetics and raise exactly what they need to without all of the guesswork. Hey, Jared, welcome back to the Ranch It Up Radio Show. Jump on in here as we talk NuEra Genetics from ABS.
Sex semen in general is where the story kind of starts to take off. You know, we know the dairy industry is kind of the driving point for artificial insemination. Technologies related to that. And as sex female semen became a viable product that could change a dairy system for the better, focus on those elite females, replicate them as a nucleus herd inside the dairy. Once that happened, it became reality and integration picked up pace. Did everything kind of the table or the playing field became laid out for the rest of these things that followed, and a terminal beef component that fixed the gaps or deficiencies within a dairy cow so that she could produce milk and she could also produce an offspring that was as close to a native beef with regards to the growth curve, the outcome at the time of harvest, etc., was something that was necessary. We had to fill that gap, and so that sex semen piece really jump started this whole evolution, and it kind of a perfect storm happened, really.
So it was in a situation, the 30,000 foot view is, I'm a dairy producer, and in the past there was not a lot of market for those dairy calves. There just wasn't a lot of market. So that was not another enterprise that somebody could focus on their dairy operation. And with the introduction of sexed semen and the beef on dairy concept, which is nothing new, we're just really kind of tightening up and flattening that curve, using your language. We're just dialing in and be able to give the opportunity to these dairy producers to offer a better beef.
Absolutely. I think there's multiple things in what you just said that we can flesh out there. If you have your nucleus core females identified, and that's where you want your female replacements to come from, then the rest of the herd within your dairy system, why would you want to use dairy semen, especially conventional dairy semen, on them? Because to your point, the dairy steers and heifers that are not going into your elite breeding program, well, there's a limited amount of value. And when you have a limited amount of value in the rest, for that operating or that business system, then, your margins aren't improved, but yet you have the ability to change and evolve, use a beef product, which initially it was a conventional semen beef product. And today that's actually changing. And we're starting to see the integration of male sexed beef product, because there is a huge value differentiation between a steer and a heifer, whether it's a beef herd or a dairy herd. We know that is significant, right? Steers are going to grow faster. They're going to get bigger faster. They're going to consume less feed and typically be able to, have the same attributes carcass-wise as maybe a heifer would, et cetera. So I think that's all those things that you mentioned are exactly what kind of has been included in that perfect storm. So
that's the dairy business that has been kind of moving in that avenue. I'm going to kind of throw words like manufacturing out because that's really what we're doing. We're manufacturing a product and trying to add more value, as you said, to that finished product. That makes all the sense in the world. It doesn't matter what form of agriculture, that's what we're trying to do. But now NuEra has looked at it and said, wait a minute, how do we move into the beef space using this technology? If I'm correct in what I'm hearing is now there are a lot of beef producers out there, commercial beefmen, cattlemen, that are saying, using the example where maybe I do not have the ability or maybe the herd numbers to just produce those females. Maybe I am just after that terminal market. I am trying to produce pounds per acre. You and I have had a lot of conversations about that. So now, is that kind of where NuEra is moving into, is saying we now have the ability to really dial this thing in and to try to create as much value as we can, really on a pound per acre basis?
Absolutely. I think that's where we've begun to see the uptake and the integration of the NuEra genetic line within the beef space. It's starting to migrate, as you've mentioned, from dairy to beef, simply because there are producers that need a terminal product. They buy all their replacement females, or they only buy cows and have 100% terminal type programs. So it may not be a huge part of the industry, but it's still a need. I mean, there's a customer, and it seems like a customer base that's maybe bigger than we initially thought, that, hey, I need a terminal product. And whether I'm doing a combination of artificial insemination and walking bulls or just walking bulls, I need those cattle to hit the ground, grow fast, and be out the door with as much value as possible. Or, if they retain ownership, same kind of concept. I think we maybe didn't understand the size of the terminal market. And what's been really interesting is the conversations I've had over the last couple of years since I've, kind of developed myself into this role. How producers are starting to think differently than they've ever thought before, because now we have the male sex component with the female sex component, and it's just starting to take off. But we can have conversations today about production systems that we could never have even 5 years ago. And so that's been a lot of fun.
So here's where I come in and say, yeah, but that's my job. I got to do that. So what is the difference between the NuEra products from ABS, talking about sex semen, specific bulls, and me as a commercial producer going to my usual seed stock source that I've been going to, buying walking bulls using your terminology, and if I'm focusing on growth traits of that bull, that's what I want. I want a growth-orientated bull. I want more of a terminal type bull. What is the difference between me doing that and with what you're doing with the NuEra program?
That's an extremely good question. And I think the best way to look at it is, one, it is a great option. It is one of many terminal options that's available. And if a customer wants to do business with ABS to purchase semen, we have a tremendous portfolio, of elite Angus genetics, Sim Angus genetics, Shar genetics, Red Angus, you name it. We can dial in to whatever any customer wants. And so I think that's the most important thing to touch on first, is to be able to service any customer that's out there, whether they need a maternal-based component for part of their herd. Maybe they're breeding their heifers to sexed female, and then they need to use sexed male semen on the rest of their herd. And if we're not saying it's what works everywhere, but where it does work is there's a lot of places that it does fit well. And it's a great option for those producers that say, hey, I need a black terminal component, and this is how it's going to fit into my system, et cetera. And so I think it gives customers more options.
Jared, just hold tight. I want to talk about next-gen Angus X bulls and how they were developed using this concept. So just hang on here. Crew, let's take a quick break, and the Ranch It Up radio show will be back after this.
RanchChannel.com, bull sales, western events, product information, right at your fingertips on the ultimate cowboy-friendly platform. Want to follow up-to-date markets? RanchChannel.com. No need to dig for information on all these different websites. It's all right there on RanchChannel.com.
Producers, pay attention now. Are you ready to take your herd to the next level? Discover Transova Genetics. As the leader in advanced reproductive technologies, Transova offers services like embryo transfer, IVF, and genetic preservation. Enhance your herd's genetics, increase productivity, and achieve your breeding goals with the expert team from Transova Genetics. Visit transova.com today and unlock your herd's full potential. Transova Genetics, leading the way in animal reproduction.
Should I sell heifers or keep some as replacements? Consider upgrading your cow herd with material instinct and stayability, all while providing that extra shot of heterosis. Look no further than Gelbvieh and Balancer Genetics. Discover the cow power with Gelbvieh and Balancer. Gelbvieh and Balancer, smart, reliable, profitable. Gelbvieh.org.
The best way to raise beef on pasture, on crop residue, or in a dry lot, it's Westway feed products. Westway liquid supplements support increased forage utilization, efficiency, convenience, and sustainability. Find your nearest rep by calling 800-800-7517 or head to westwayfeed.com on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok.
LivestockMarket.com. We hear from the crew at LivestockMarket.com every week. Bulls, cows, bred heifers, open replacement heifers, cow-calf pairs, feeders, and stockers, horses, pigs, goats, sheep, show stock, hay and straw, and even alpacas, all listed on LivestockMarket.com. Private treaty, online auctions, and on-site auctions. Buying or selling, gauge the market, do some research. Check out LivestockMarket.com.
And don't forget, they brought you AuctionTime.com and EquineMarket.com. Hey, welcome back to the Ranch It Up radio show. We're talking with Jared Wareham, Global Business Development Manager for ABS NuEra Genetics, about dialing in exactly what you want to raise consistently. Next Gen Cattle Company in Paxico, Kansas, is doing just that by supplying their bull buyers with their Next Gen Angus X bulls. And this is where Next Gen comes in, is the fact that not only can we, with ABS purchase that semen, but now they have their product. The Next Gen Angus X bull is what they're calling these, a very specific terminal bull that you just mentioned for those individuals that are not set up maybe to AI, that actually need to go out and we need to purchase a herd sire and bring them home, correct?
That's correct. And it's really taken off faster than we thought it would. It's been great for Next Gen. We look at it as another product we produce to help a customer scale and grow their business and be successful. No different than selling semen conventionally or sexed female or sexed male. We can now offer additional packages of genetics, and because that's what we are, a genetic improvement company. And then we can help customers in, again, lots of different ways grow their business, be successful, and help their customers be successful. And so that's kind of been a fun experience working with that team, because they're refreshing to work with. Trust me, they're great to work with. But the concept that we kind of started because it was new, we weren't quite sure, how fast it would materialize and grow. And so it's been exciting to see that grow that fast, but it's also begun to produce questions coming into us from other producers in North America and around the world that say, hey, I want to offer terminal bulls because there's a huge market for that, but I don't want to make them. Because as well as I do, there's the, maternal, terminal, and sometimes highly terminal cow herds. And I'm using sometimes loosely because I know there'll be people that are extremely dialed in on the maternal side that would probably jump all over me if I didn't be loose there. But
there's a place for them too, Jared. Though that's I think what we're getting at is that there's a need for those very maternal type herds.
Oh, 100%. And that's why I think that's what makes this so interesting is those producers that want to maintain that really good set of functional maternal cows can do that and still have the opportunity to offer terminal bulls because of some of the pieces that have come off of next gen. I mean, I think the exciting thing is what we've kind of got going in Australia and New Zealand. I mean, there's producers there that have kind of watched what we've done, and we've had great conversations with them about that very topic. Like, hey, I want to produce a highly maternal cow herd, and I have a problem keeping terminal type cows in production. It's just a fact. It's just the way it goes, right? But I have a huge market for terminal bulls, so I don't want to make them myself because of all that stuff we just talked about. But I can sell the bulls. So how can we help that customer? How can ABS help that customer be successful if we're selling them semen from our main lineup, and we're already helping them be successful in that strategy? How can we help them grow their business and then jump into that terminal bull space as well? And that's kind of what's really been growing the last 12 months. And a lot of it's because of the way we've dipped our toe in the water and tried to find new ways to do business here off of the Next Gen partnership. Is we're now sending male sexed embryos to Australia and New Zealand for some new partnerships to customers or partners now that have very successful businesses already selling bulls, have a very highly maternal cow herd, want to stay that way, but they want to tap into that terminal market. So we can sell them embryos made with male sex semen. They can put those in. They don't have to maintain a cow herd. They can grow a bull, their bull business. They can sell maternal bulls and they can sell terminal bulls at one time. And that's, again, the technology is there today. We can actually make that happen. The sexed male semen, the ability to create IVFs and ship them conventional embryos and ship them, things like that.
Jared Wareham with ABS NuEra Genetics, thanks so much for the time. Now, there's a lot more to this story that we're going to be uncovering over the next few weeks. Pretty neat what we can do nowadays, isn't it? The Ranch It Up Radio Show will be back. Keep it locked.
If your herd is suffering from scours and has had scours, see immediate results with Pharmatan from Imogene Ingredients. Get your herd on a Pharmatan feeding plan now to prevent scours for next calving season. Get your herd back in shape, more breedbacks, healthier calves, and eliminate scours with Pharmatan. Check out PharmatanUSA.com and on Facebook.
Attention cattle producers. Boost your herd's trace mineral status with Axiota Animal Health's Multi-Min 90. This injectable solution delivers essential trace minerals known to support cattle health and reproduction. Don't settle for less when it comes to your herd health. Trust Axiota Animal Health to keep your cattle in prime condition. Visit your local supplier or veterinarian to learn more about Multi-Min 90. Multi-Min 90, because healthy cattle mean a healthy bottom line. Clear Springs Cattle Company, that brings you the annual Bred for Balance sale. They invite you to the first annual mature cow and red heifer dispersal. Proven top Simmental and Sim-Angus genetics, Saturday, November 30th at the ranch in Starbuck, Minnesota. All the details at ranchchannel.com and bredforbalance.com.
There's still lots of time to market those calves. Add Allied Genetic Resources and Allied Feeding Partners to the list of marketing options. With over 30,000 feeder cattle marketing annually, the Allied Genetic team works to help commercial producers capture top dollars. Contact any of the Allied team by heading to AlliedGeneticResources.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Ranch It Up Radio Show. It's that time in the program. We check in with Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated. We recap the markets, kind of find out what happened last week, maybe give us a little perspective of what's coming up. So, Kirk, the numbers-wise, let's do it.
Good morning, Tigger, and all your listeners out there. As of Friday, October 4th, October feeder futures closed the week at 249.77.5. That's up 242.5 on the week, with the CME feeder index up $1.25 at 246.78. That left the basis versus October futures at a negative 299. So futures are over cash. October live closed the week at 187.05. That's up 322.5 on the week. Cash traded some light volume of 186 in the south and 187 in the north, with the 5-area weighted average up 94 cents at 187.03. That left the basis versus October futures at a negative 2 cents. So futures are also over cash in the live cattle market. Weekly slaughter was 611,000 head. That's down 1,000 head from last week and 16,000 head lower than the same week last year. Choice boxes got back above the $3 level at 302.58. They gained 589 on the week, but that did leave the estimated spot packer margins at a negative $70 a head. To wrap this up, December corn closed the week at 425.25. That's up 7 3/4 on the week. Corn did rally to the 100-day moving average, but it has been struggling with that level since.
Hey all, Mark ZanVee with LivestockMarket.com. Coming up this Wednesday, October 16th, we have an all-class cattle and hay online auction. Bidding opens at just $100 a head, no reserves, all lots will sell. Featured lots include 50 Brangus open replacement heifers, some motley face with Hereford influence, all homegrown. They're 10 to 11 months old. They'll be a year on December 31st. They weigh 650 pounds. These girls are moderately framed, fleshy heifers. They've all been vaccinated and wormed from Womack Farms in Zachary, Louisiana. 15 Angus and Red Angus cows, 1,200 pounds, 5 to 8 years old, second period bred from Rafter LF Cattle Company in El Dorado Springs, Missouri. Featured hay lots include 23 tons of large square alfalfa grass mix. It's 3x4x8, 1,500 pounds, first cutting, 16% moisture from Keller Farms in Sand Creek, Michigan. 300 large round grass bales, selling on 10 30-bale lots. It's 5x6, net wrapped, very clean, no weeds, no rain. 1,350 pounds, made with the John Deere 569 from Luter Auction in Redfield, South Dakota. 76 large round Bahi Bermuda bales, 4x5 net wrap, sprayed for weeds, second cutting from Binning Hay Sales in Hooks, Texas. And 12 large round alfalfa bales, 5x5 net wrapped, third cutting from Velocity Auctions in Pawnee City, Nebraska. Bidding is currently live, but all lots will sell the morning of Wednesday, October 16th at 10 a.m. Central Time. Got cattle to sell? Regular online cattle auctions first and third Wednesday of every month, with hay sales every Wednesday on LivestockMarket.com and AuctionTime.com.
Are you looking to reduce costs for your next ranch project? Hey, I'm Shaye Wanner, and I'm the host of the Casual Cattle Conversations podcast. I sat down with Damon Carson, and we talked all about repurposing and how his company is helping ranchers do this. Damon shares some creative ideas and strategies that ranchers can utilize to cut costs and be even more sustainable than they already are. So with that, here are a few ideas from Damon. Is there one project that or creative use that kind of like tops the charts for you as, wow, that was thinking outside of the box?
Well, I think one of them that's really kind of simplistic, but it really makes a lot of sense is swimming pool covers. So these are the kinds that at HOAs, homeowners associations, at the Ritz-Carltons, at the recreations, park and recs districts, big, you think about an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and a lot of times they're mesh. So water goes right through them, and they don't want them, especially at a high-end hotel, they don't want them to get frayed and faded, and so they'll retire them. But man, in a Second Life, they work perfect as a big shade screen. You put it between two big telephone poles, utility poles, or hook two sides to the side of your barn, and you have an extended life for that retired swimming pool cover as a shade screen, shade tarp.
Listen to the full story by searching for Casual Cattle Conversations on your favorite podcast player. Happy ranching, folks.
I tip my hat to you, from one legend to another.
Now, before we say fare thee well, we want to give a big old tip of the hat to one of the stations that airs us each and every week, and that's Kicks 103.3 in the Catawba Valley in North Carolina. They serve the Lenore, Morganton, and Hickory areas of North Carolina. Now, they are teaming up with the Caldwell Ag Fairgrounds and collecting a lot of the items that individuals are needing there to help with the relief effort of Hurricane Helene. So if you're in that area, They're collecting items such as grain and hay and water. They're helping distribute those items to a lot of producers at the Caldwell Egg Fairgrounds, again, in Lenore, North Carolina. If you're wanting to get in contact with those individuals or how do we help, just reach out to us here at the Ranch It Up Radio Show. Beck and I will help coordinate. We'll get everybody in contact with one another. Again, at the Caldwell Egg Fairgrounds in Lenore, North Carolina, they're collecting those items. Shout out and tip of the hat to y'all. Thanks for coming together on this one. And now that's going to wrap it up for today. A big thanks from our crew to yours. Jared Wareham with ABS NuEra Genetics. Shaye Wanner with Casual Cattle Conversations. Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated. Mark ZanVee with LivestockMarket.com. A big thank you to our partners. Ranch Channel, we've got new listings and sale reports, so check it out, ranchchannel.com. Jorgensen Land and Cattle. Clear Springs Cattle Company bringing us the mature cow and red heifer dispersal sale. Transova Genetics. Axiota Animal Health bringing us Multimin and Lactopro. Stockman's Livestock Exchange. The American Gelbvieh Association. Imogene Ingredients bringing us Pharmatan. Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Allied Genetic Resources and Allied Feeding Partners, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, the Tri-State Livestock News, Art of DTV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station. And crew, so glad y'all came with us one more time as we ranch it up. Be sure to follow along and like us on Facebook at Ranch It Up Show. Our email is ranchitupshow@gmail.com. You can call and you can text 24/7. That phone number is 707-RANCH-20. That's 707-726-2420, 707-RANCH-20. Spread the good word and join us again next week where it's always Tigger and Beck approved. Stay ranchy and ranch it up.